morning to all of you. I think this session theme is very important, where we talk about information management as well as the security of the information and security of systems, security of technology, and security of services. So we have really a kind of gamut of areas to be covered here. And of course, I'm not the replacement for Gulshan Rai, who is, I think, held up for the Parliament questions today. He is the director of SET, and we are colleagues. And we have been developing systems together, or maybe possibly even standards on security. I was the chairman of a standards committee for nearly 2.5 decades in the Indian Bureau of Standards. In fact, people will not know that India met the standard for 27001 before as a validation to 7799 for British standard, which became international standard now. So I thought that maybe possibly this session should cover the entire gamut of challenges what we face in the cyber age. So I thought with this introduction lecture, myself, and then I thought that I'll give a kind of challenging ideas to have interaction more, and then maybe my panelists will substantiate various areas which they are going to cover in terms of their expertise. Some of them are vendors, some of them are government agencies, some of them from private sector, who are involved in this kind of area exercise for quite some time. So let me start my presentation. So what I thought was maybe tone of this session is securing the unsecured world. So the 21st century challenges, creating a digital trust and cyber security to cyber assurance. I think this is the topic of which I thought I will cover. I think this is the need of the enterprises of tomorrow. Even today is the existing requirement, but tomorrow is going to be the basic need. So I thought with some quotes, which I thought I'll share with you, because ever since men began to modify their lives using technology, they have found themselves in a series of technological traps. This is what Roger Well said. The law, we thought they will give a protection like IT Act, Pawan Dugal has talked in the last session. The law is the last interpretation of the last judge, given by the last judge. So it's only interpretation matters than the law matters. So this is what I think law comes to picture. Privacy is where the technology and law collide. I think we are worried about our information being shared or abused or misused. We are worried about private information being shared. So privacy is where the technology and law collide. So technology makes it possible to govern everything else except for the technology itself. So we have to worry about kind of managing the technology itself is a great challenge for us. When multiplicity of technology is going to be in enterprise, entered in every point of time and different point of time. So why we have to worry about security is the question is whenever people are not given much of thought to it, it is not architected well. So maybe possibly what we thought was unless loss of embarrassment takes place, or maybe possibly a kind of loss of data, loss of finance, or maybe loss of image, they are worried about security. Otherwise, they are not worried about security by themselves. So we have to see the kind of culture to change. So there was a lot of debate on security is a technology, or security is art, or culture, or a management. I think it's all the things mixed together is security today. Next is, I think, security is a holistic view we should have, because we should have an alert system, we have to have a product system, we have to respond, and we have to manage. I think we have to worry about the kind of life cycle of the security life cycle management. We have to worry about security as a holistic view. Maybe possibly each one can be debated by a session by itself in the security conference, because it's going to be an overview here. So I'm not going details of this, which will be covered by my colleagues here. Next is, I think, the IT Act came into the picture, because we are one of the 12th nations in the world which made the IT Act possible in 2000 and amended in 2008. But IT Act says, unless you have a comprehensive security policy, you can't use that as a kind of a damage protection exercise. So we have to worry about a kind of comprehensive information security policy framework. I think very, very important aspect. Unless you have in the organization about the security policy, integrated security policy, you will not be in a position to manage it. Second is, I think, SAC model. I think today, the day of private-public sector participation, so we have to worry about the kind of implementation of security and access controls and automation when PPP model is used for managing major governmental intermediary services which is being done by them. So we have to worry about the kind of assurance model here where the world is changing dynamically. So I think if we see the global scenario, so cyberspace is dynamic and undefined and exponential. I think nobody will debate on this because it is a kind of definition we have. Countries need dynamic laws keeping pace with the technological advancements. So 5 years ago, we didn't know that mobile phone will have that kind of penetration. The devices will have much of integration to the kind of device itself. So we have to worry about the kind of dynamic laws change along with the technological advancements. In virtual space, netizens exist, not citizens. So you have to map netizen to citizen. I think we have a major issue here in identifying a citizen, or maybe possibly it may be an animal, it may be a dog, it may be a monkey, will be interacting with a keyboard, interacting with you on the other side. You will not know who is the person doing it, except for the password or biometrics or token what he possesses. I think we have to worry about the kind of virtual space, how to identify, map netizens to citizens. Next is, I think, on the other side, we give some attributes here. We thought that trust in e-environments. I think how will you create a trust? Lack of mature IT society. I think society itself is trying to get involved in that as a lifestyle management. Absence of single governing body. I think it is true, nobody governs the cyberspace. So single governing body is not there. Maybe telecommunication TRI is there. Maybe possibly broadband society regulatory authority is there. Maybe probably IT, there's no regulatory authority, I say. And RBI has got financial regulation authority, they have. So we have different kind of regulatory authorities who is using IT for everyday usage by you. Legislation, I think very, very important aspect. High skill inventory. Reducing fear of being caught. I think because of this kind of cyber things, people think that they can't be caught. But it leaves more traces than anything else in the private and the paper-oriented scenario. Disgruntled employees, internal threat. It's a very major challenge every organization faces, including the government. So if you see the kind of cyber threats in 2011-12, I'm only talking about 1 year. I'm not talking about a kind of plan of 3 years because technology is changing so fast. Maybe we have more challenges to face. So I limited to only 1 year of my prediction. Data theft. It has been reported in everyday paper somewhere. Mobility. People are mobile. So mobility is one of the things where you want to have access when you are mobile, to access to data, access your kind of access to devices and systems and technologies. Questions of responsibility. Who will be responsible for what? It's a question of internet governance. So internet is going to be a medium of transaction. So who will govern internet? What is the kind of cyber governance systems we have? IETF is discussing this kind of internet governance scenario in a quite lengthy way, but still we are not in a position to find out who governs what internet is. Internet is supposed to be a society of societies, network of networks, right? So malware, botnets, cyber warfare, I think the very, very important exercise today is people are worried about cyber warfare. I think a lot of work is being done even in India too. Threats to VoIP in mobile devices. I think voice over IP is a kind of transmission of audio signals or maybe voice itself. So voice over IP is going to be activation device. The evolving cybercrime economy. The fellow who thieves the data is not the fellow who does the culprit. Somebody else does the theft. But he only thieves the data and sell it. That's all it is happening in the kind of cyber era. So cyber economy itself is a kind of, cybercrime economy itself is a kind of new economy which is brewing. So next is, I think, pirated software. I think what we are worried about, the pirated software is it has malware built into it. When you use this pirated software, it becomes a part of your system. Next is social networks and up the ante. Social networks is going to be the medium of interaction or collaboration. We have to worry about the kind of, we have to worry about the kind of social networks being penetrating so well in the kind of collaboration space. We have to worry about social networks, how the security can be provided in the social networking scenario. Next is criminals take to the cloud. I think cloud is going to be the kind of interaction or interface or services tomorrow. And we have already seen the emergence of exploits as a service. I think this is also another service platform where people are hosting exploits as a service. So really we'll see in the next few years, a rise in attacks in healthcare organizations will occur for similar reasons. Continued attacks on retailers, big and small tax authorities is going to happen. School, colleges, university systems where anywhere a lot of records are kept, where things can be manipulated, mutilated, and certificates can be produced. I think we have to worry about the kind of security in even educational institutions, which was not the kind of attack scenario earlier. I think in the era of digital age, We found all the users can be identified, employees, contractors, business partners. Very difficult scenario. Do IT managers know what users have access to? System administrators can answer this question. Really difficult to know who has access to what at any point of time. Can all the interactions among users, assets, and applications can be identified? I think we have roles and rules responsibility. More domain-based access systems also coming up in a very fast manner. So what we see is important imperatives are IT and law. I think we have to work together on that. Security and risk. I think risk is going to be indexed, prioritized, and judged, managed, and mitigated, right? Business integration is going to happen because we have seen various layers of business which is going to work together, make the business achieve their goals. Value to the enterprise, I think very, very important aspect because you are going to be creative, innovative, add value to the enterprise. Alignment equal to collaboration because we have to align with others. We can't do ourselves everything. So we have to work with partners. I think we have to worry about the kind of alignment here. Governance and funding is a very important issue of IT governance coming to the picture. IT sourcing and ITS outsourcing. I think famous example is that even the IT company can outsource everything else except for the kind of marketing, right? This will happen in Airtel. So this is going to be the scenario tomorrow. Maybe possibly outsource your major functions except for the core functions. Performance measures, I think very difficult to do. How security enablement is going to perform in the kind of integrated scenario what we are going to talk about. Growing talent. I think hackers are much more knowledgeable than system protectors. I think very, very important access. Right? We will talk about this in a few minutes' time. Beyond customer service, we want to make customers alight and customer be happy with that kind of interaction of systems and services. I think we have to see how secure they are when they are going to interact with your environments. I think what we thought, this is a kind of area where business assurance, feeling of comfort by enterprises. So insurance, I think we started with the insurance there. If assets are classified, risk is indexed, this gives a financial compensation of recreational lost assets. So insurance gives you protection of assets. In case they are damaged, they can be recreated with a kind of financial help. Next is audit. So why audit? Internal and external audit indicates deficiency in systems and processes and resource utilization, use and abuse. So it gives a kind of feedback system for the top management, how you are going to function, how the systems are functioning, how the technology is functioning, how the services are functioning in your organization, where the deficiencies are. So auditors are supposed to report to top management. So certification came third part. Certification is one area where I get a comfort because third party certifies that I am all right. My quality systems are okay, my security systems are okay, my services delivery systems are okay. I think we have to worry about this kind of certification gives a kind of comfort level at the management standards. So business assurance is another layer, it's a multi-layered. What we are going to talk about here, maybe managerial layer, operational layer, network and technology layer, I think which is not talked about earlier. Financial layer, of course, is being audited. Legal layer and impact layer. I think this is a kind of 7-layer framework we are going to have for assurance scenario. So challenging issue is security is a technology issue, trust is a management issue, or privacy is a social issue. I think these are the kind of challenges one has to define because you can put a full stop there, I put a question mark there to see that these debatable issues on the kind of definitions what we have where technology, security is only technology based or management practices, right? Trust is how to create, it cannot be marketed, it has to be created. So trust is a kind of thing, is a management issue or a creation issue. How will you make people comfortable to do with you, business with you? So really I think trust cannot be bought or sold, it has to be created. Trust is earned, not given away. Trust is a third party like CA, Digital Certification Authorities, in relation to whom, trusted by whom, trusted for what, trusted for how long. If a question of periodicity comes into the picture. That means CA life cycle is 5 years, let's say. Security it may be only for 7 years. You have to worry about this kind of life cycle management of synchronization there. So really I think it's a kind of layered trust what we are going to talk about when business to business or business to consumer or secure electronic transactions or C2C, consumer to consumer. We have to worry about the kind of single trust to layered trust. We have to graduate ourselves in the enterprises there. So really assessment if you go, what kind of assessment I can do for IT functions? A strategy, a delivery, a technology, people and systems. I think these are the kind of functions where you have to do assessments there. The other side is utility, efficiency, economy, control and security. I think we have to map these kind of things in kind of parameterization attributes there. So what kind of assurance we can give? The IT industry does not understand assurance. They think that assurance is going to be updates and upgrades. I think we need a kind of things, the design a system